Hey friends, as you are well aware, I don't normally do this sort of thing, but I'm making a social media post to kind of blast out a whole bunch of information to as many people who care to listen. Um, I felt it'd be a good way to reach as many people as I could and kind of like get one set of information out there so I'm not repeating it to everyone all the time. Not that I don't mind talking to you guys individually, absolutely love it. I thought this would be a good way just to put it out there, as well as document it for myself and to help me get my thoughts in line about what's going on in my life right now. So, long story short, some of you guys may be aware, or maybe you're not, that I was a childhood cancer survivor. And I define childhood cancer by the definition that I was under 18 at the time. I was actually 17 when we discovered my tumor. It happened basically overnight. It was removed the next day in emergency surgery. It was crushing my heart, lungs, and trachea, and it was a whirlwind, to say the least, for my friends, my family, and myself. A lot of growing up in that time. Ever since then, I've been trying to be healthy and keep active to try and keep ahead of that stuff. You know, I think the more active you are, the better you can weather things. Unfortunately, activities like that have some risk, and I had a bike crash about a year and a half ago. And that bike crash led to me damaging the repair that they did to my chest in 2003 after they took out the tumor. And long story short, I'm getting it replaced, and I'm doing it in New York City, traveling from North Carolina. So that's the long and short of it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Just kidding. If you're really interested, we'll get into some more details about what happened, the history, how we got to here today, et cetera, et cetera. So let's go to the slides then. So the first slide being this is my chest in 2003, the day before I had the tumor removed. You can kind of see the outline of the tumor here. It's quite large, and at first they thought I had an enlarged heart, which is why I got sent to the emergency room right then. After just a little clinic had evaluated me for, I was feeling sleepy, and we were supposed to visit my dad overseas, and they took one look at me and said, "Oh shoot, something's wrong," and so this happened. Fair warning, I've removed a lot of the bloody and gory photos of me with an open chest when they were removing the tumor, but there are pictures of the tumor, which can be kind of bloody, so just probably skip the next minute or 30 seconds if you're kind of squeamish. This is me laying back on the table. You kind of see the asymmetry in my chest wall there. That is a result of the tumor growing inside my chest cavity. It was growing inside my thoracic cavity, crushing my heart, lungs, and trachea. And so they see they got me intubated, and they're breathing for me, making sure I got enough lungs in my airways. There's the tumor coming out. I'm underneath these garbs down here, and they said it was 9 pounds, I believe, 8 or 9 pounds. It was a calcified mass of cartilage, chondrosarcoma, benign at its crust and malignant at its core, based on the later pathology follow-ups. There's the doctors in their hero pose. They were very, very proud of themselves. It was quite a whirlwind for them too. Less than 24 hours to plan for this. They discovered it. I got whisked in there. They took it out the next morning. It was pretty amazing what they did. Here's a piece of my rib. This is the tumor still. And there's a rib margin. They had to get clean margins on the ribs. So I'm missing 2 half ribs and then part of my sternum as a result of this. They wanted to make sure they got all the cancer tissue and clean margins. If you're familiar with any sort of cancers, they can always go for clean margins and making sure no of those cancer cells escaped. There's me underneath the drapes. My head is up here, so my legs are down this way, and you can see the drain tubes and the staples they use to close me. Now, I showed this because you can see my one side of the chest. This is my right side of the chest, and this is my left. And the left has the repair done to it, where they left the hole from the 2 ribs and half my sternum. And there's the methylmethacrylate plate, which is what they put on top of the hole to try and protect me from puncture intrusion, so that someone couldn't basically take my pulse through my chest wall, by sticking, think about when someone puts their finger on your chest and hey you, points at you like that. They could have touched my my heart in there, so they were trying to seal that up. Here's me Probably a day or two after the surgery. I don't really remember this photo or much of this time in the hospital, on a lot of meds, I suppose. It's kind of funny, you can tell this is pediatric ward because of all the little animal prints up on the wall, but like I said, I was 17, so technically pediatric, but I was, almost all the way full grown. Here's me at home after the surgery. You can see the staples have been removed, and you can just ever so slightly see that plate in my chest. It kind of looks like a little light spot right there. That's the top of the plate that kind of like goes right here and covers this hole. There's the drain tubes, and I look so thrilled, by the way, because 17-year-olds love having their photo taken, let alone when they have gnarly scars like this. So here is a X-ray of the side of my body right after the surgery, and you can see the plate they put in here. In fact, you can even see these are the staples they use to seal up my incision along the from left to right. But this is the plate, as far as I understand it. These are sternal wires holding my sternum together. But you can see the plate here, one contiguous piece. This is the 2008 photo, or X-ray, sorry, or I guess it's a photo of an X-ray. The sternal wires are still there. You can see the staples have been removed, but the plate is still there. You can see I have built up some fat and muscle over the plate to kind of give it some better coverage there. That just came with time. And being active, doing cycling and running and trying to lift some weights, you become more healthy. But like I said earlier, not all sports have zero risk, and so I had a bike wreck about a year and a half ago in March of 2021, and here's a wonderfully flattering photo of myself in the hospital, and they triaged me as having a grade 3 AC separation in my left shoulder, which was true. I definitely had one, and I told them I had this thing in my plate, this plate in my chest, but they were more focused on the AC separation being the more critical thing, based on the imagery they took, just an X-ray of the area. And there was definitely a bump. I got a photo of that, but here's that separation. That bone should be touching that joint right there, so they're showing there's definitely a gap. Like, this is wrong. Put that back. So I've been working on PT ever since then and getting stronger and working on it. And here's that 2008 image again. I was working on it. I was doing my PT and starting to cycle gently again, on a trainer at the gym, and then outdoors eventually. And I started lifting weights again really gently. And I was not even really pushing the weights. I was just, trying to do like a maintenance routine just to make sure I wouldn't like lose fitness and lose strength. And I was actually done with the gym, and I was kind of like held my arms out to the side, left and right, like a wing, like on a bird, wings on a bird. And I was putting a cup holder in my center cup holder with my right hand and closing my car door with my left. And just that outstretched position of the left and right arms, I felt an incredible pain and a pop in my chest. And that's when I believe that the methyl methacrylate plate gave way the rest of the way. So if you keep your eyes here on this plate here, check out this next frame, you can see a quite distinct crack in it. I'll just go back and forth. You can also see maybe some fluid pooling around there from the area. So I still have some fluid that got to drain right now. And so that was pretty critical. So I drove right up to Washington, D.C., where the surgeon who had been following my case ever since the original surgery was located, and they X-rayed it, and they said, "Oh, yep," and they CT'd it, and they said, "Yep, it's cracked." And they said, "Well, we'll help you if we can. Just let us know what you'd like to do." And so I embarked on let me get back to the. So I embarked on a journey to find a surgeon to help me with this. And I wanted to collect as much data as possible, because if you know me, I like collecting data and understanding all my options to the best of my ability. And I talked to that hospital in DC. I talked to 3 providers in 3 pretty serious surgical centers in North Carolina. And I got the range of options from nothing's wrong, don't do anything, it's fine, leave it be, to yeah, we'll take it out, we'll place it in, place nothing in its place structurally, just some soft tissue stuff over it, and you'll have to wear a vest in case you're trying to, do any sports. And I had one provider even tell me, if you can work and wash yourself, that's all you need to do. And I was like, well, I appreciate the data point. But something I don't want to do is be inactive for the rest of my life and deal with the pain and the discomfort. So being that plate is cracked in there, yeah, I can feel it like rubbing on itself every once in a while. If I put myself, I roll in bed, I can feel it click over itself. The pain is getting better since it's been about, I guess it's almost been a year since it cracked, maybe 10 months or so. So it's the pain is improving, but every once in a while it does get me. It just gives me a good zing, and the discomfort is something I'm looking forward to having be better. So I'm looking for the long-term solution. I'd like to be stronger for longer. It's still loose in there, and it could dislodge itself at any moment. If I have a bike wreck, if I slip down the stairs, I could be in a car accident. Who knows what? It could dislodge itself and be a free-floating thing in my chest wall somewhere. It's on the outside of my chest wall, so it's not really in danger of harming any organs. But it could be really weird to have like a thing, floating around your, just woo. I'm moving out. So this surgeon, which I got to in a quite a strange twist of events, is in New York City. Part of the reason why I'm sharing this story is because I was helped by someone who shared their story. I got in touch with them, and they hooked me up with their surgical team, and that's how I got to this team here. I'm looking forward to it. I may tell that story at another time. The broken plate is going to be removed, as well as the Gore-Tex mesh underneath that's just providing some structure inside the chest wall. And then they're going to replace it with titanium bars screwed into each rib at a couple points, and then also bridging over to the sternum and screwed into the sternum, which will put something really in line with my chest wall. It'll provide structure for each rib to the sternum, as well as the sternum to those two ribs and all the intercostal muscles that still exist. And then they do something with some sort of soft tissue thing between that, just to provide some structure between the two bars. I think this is the best whole picture solution. The surgeon seemed the most confident about it. He seemed the most not bothered by it. Some of the centers that I show this to were pretty wide-eyed. They're like, whoa. And it is a crazy story. But of course, you want someone to be working on this inside their wheelhouse and not really stretching. Not that don't think people should stretch for that, but when it comes to your own thing, you'd rather not be like the test bed for something like this. I was already a test bed when they took it out and put that plate in. It lasted for 19 years. I couldn't be happier with that. So yeah, I'm optimistic about the future with this. I think it's the right thing to do. I'm looking forward to 7 months from now. They're telling me, 5 to 7 days in the hospital after surgery, then I can go to a step down. It's like a medical housing outside, but it's not medical. Like there's no nurses and things. Then 2 weeks after that, I come back from a post-op checkup, and then they'll either clear me to travel or give me another 2 weeks to stick around the city. They said 6 to 8 weeks before I feel like I haven't been hit by a truck, and 6 months to complete recovery. So I'm really looking forward to that 6 or 7 mark when I'm on the other side. I'm like, I think I'll be a lot better. So to get ready for this, I've been as active as I'm able to be. I'm trying not to push anything, just to get a good fitness baseline in, so that I can go into the surgery with a lot of endurance and strength to hopefully help me rebound and recover better on the other side. So anyway, I know I probably haven't talked to a lot of you in a while, friends, coworkers, even some family out somewhere, but I do hope that you all are doing well, and thank you for your time.